Well, first of all, being liberal most of the time is for the idealistic thinkers, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we all believe in liberal concepts. Mm-hmm. I believe in a lot of liberal concepts. I believe in social concepts as well. I don't want people to starve to death. I want people to have homes, but I also believe in self-sacrifice, and hard work will get you to where you want to be. And I don't want to subsidize somebody that is lazy or doesn't want to pursue something, because I work very hard to get to where I am. Whether I had been successful or not, I was going to work extremely hard on whatever I did, So, there's a balance there. Like, we live in societies, right? Mm-hmm. What's the benefit of that? Is that we can help people through a collective effort. So it doesn't cost you much. We all kind of help. Mm-hmm. So that you can assist someone that otherwise maybe they've had horrible things happen to them, and you can give them that helping hand. If someone's drowning, you don't say, "Well, you should have learned how to swim better." You give them a hand to get them out of the water so they don't drown. So as a society, I believe that's what we should do. Now, what happened is it went a little off kilter. It went off the deep end. I don't believe in the woke culture at all. It's no secret, right? What my belief system is. Mm-hmm. And I also don't think having lifelong career politicians is good for society. I don't know the exact system of government you have in Australia. I'm not Australian. But here in the United States, it's a constitutional republic, right? Mm-hmm. And we have people that are in Congress and the Senate. And the objective in the beginning of that was you would have a farmer, and a couple of months a year they would go and they would figure out what the government's going to do, and then they would go back to farming. And some of them were engineers, and some of them were lawyers, and some of them were doctors, and business owners, and it was a big mix, engineers, all these different people who had different life experiences. And they would go and they would dictate what the government did, right? Mm-hmm. Now we have people that go to law school, and then they become an aide, and they say, well, should I go this, that? I'll go this way, and I'll go this way, right? Mm-hmm. And then they spend the next 40 years of their lives towing the company line. And then both of them take money from special interest groups, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like a diamond, right? Like, it goes from the indoctrination that they get in college or university, mm-hmm. right? Depending on where they went, it's different indoctrination. And then they pick a side, Democrat or Republican, and then they all take money from the same pool, Mm-hmm. And what we were discussing earlier, I voted for Donald Trump, and I'm glad he won, because it brings a little sanity back, irrespective of the what you hear out there. It's much more sane with him than it was without him. We need law and order, just like you lock your door at night. You don't want somebody coming into your house. When you secure borders, we need people coming into this country. We all came to this country. Of course. Right? Yeah. And we need more people coming in. And the United States should always be a bastion for people that need it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they get oppression one way or the other in their countries, and they need to leave. Or maybe they just want a fresh start. Or maybe they want to be part of something that's unique and interesting like the United States. And they should be allowed to do that, but do it a certain way. Pay taxes, whatever you need to do, and live your life, Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're transgender, gay, whatever you are, live your life. I support you in that. But keep it away from kids. Keep sex away from kids in general.
Of course, 1,000%.
I've got a 9-year-old. I don't want them learning about this shit. I want them concentrating on having a good time, building friendships that might last their whole lives, mm-hmm. and learning about things that matter, right? Mm-hmm. I want them to learn about poets and artists. I want them to learn history so that they know what not to repeat, and geography. Most people don't know. Most people in the United States, I bet you, cannot name the continents. Mm-hmm. The continents. Think about that. A lot of people don't know the Pacific and Atlantic. Where are they? The simple things that we take for granted, that we were taught this shit, right? Yeah, and we learned it. Mm-hmm. What are they learning now? I don't want sex in my classrooms until they're old enough to have sex, which is much later, hopefully, for my daughters,
Until they're 45.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be dead, but I don't want to see that. I'm very defensive. What I'm trying to say is whatever you believe in,
Yeah.
you know, like with Serge, he's very liberal, you know, but he's got some conservative ideas too, you know, and I think now that he's running a business, he's understanding how difficult that is and how regulation hurts these small businesses. Look, the corporations don't give a shit.
Yeah, of course they don't. Yeah.
You know, they're subsidized by the government half the time, and the other half the time they're taking money from stockholders. They're not earning it, right? So for them to pay $50, $75, all these benefits, it's easy. They don't give a shit. They're just pushing it down the line. They're not going to pay for it. It's the next CEO that'll cover it, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're a mom and pop small business owner, you open up a store, you save up money, you work somewhere else, you save up money, all your earnings go. Now you open up a business. Now you got to get this license, this license. God forbid you don't pay a fee.
You're done, yeah.
Or, you know, somebody comes and says, well, you know, I couldn't get access here and I'm in a wheelchair. That happened to me. That's sued by a blind person on our website. You know? And I'm sympathetic to blind people, but like, do you really need to buy a toy or a comic book from my website? You know, like, and okay, you want to buy a comic book, you can buy whatever you want, you know? But they sued us. If they would have called me and said, I'm blind, I can't buy anything from your website, I would have immediately made it accessible for them. I did anyway. This truly happened to me with one of my stores. Because there's people that go, and I'm not saying this person did this.
Oh, no, 100%.
But there's people that go around and they look for businesses to sue.
No, this is a thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because
the money you pay is far less than litigating it, and you're going to lose anyway, especially if you're in California. California does not like small businesses. They want to crush small businesses. They want you to rely heavily on corporations and the government. But I got news for you. Corporations will only stay here until it's not profitable. Once it's no longer profitable, they will leave. They have no matter what they tell you, they're about the dollar at the end of the day. So, you know, small businesses, they're what build a country. Because they employ far more people than corporations will. And I think we have too many government jobs. There's too much regulation in general, too many taxes. My friend over there used to own a Johnny Rockets. They crippled him with one thing after another. It becomes impossible. So you almost have to be a lunatic to own a small business because of all the hurdles you have to go through. You know? So these are the people that need our help. Now, as far as politically, right, left, makes no difference to me. It's who's doing wrong at this time. Right? Mm-hmm. So if the conservatives go way off on the right and become too religious, or you know, whatever the case may be, where they're infringing on people, then I'm going to be with the Democrats at that point. Because I'm not a politician, and I don't give a shit about the political parties. I'm a realist. Right? And whatever's good for people, that's what I'm going to fight for.
Of course.
So I'll always be the enemy. Of course. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I can never win.
No, you have to always pick him out. Okay, so you just mentioned we just had the election, and people are literally becoming demonized, cancelled, blocked, whatever. If anyone has an opinion that's not shared with the government, that's it. I myself have lost several followers, and all I did was congratulate Trump. You've mentioned you've lost hundreds and thousands, if not more, followers.
Oh, for sure.
Why do you think that is? Was this always the case in America, or is this something that you've noticed?
It's become worse.
Yeah, right. That's what
the patience for critical thinking doesn't exist. And also, look, if I raised my kids from birth and told them that anyone that looked like this is a bad person, or anyone that taught or thinks like this is a bad person, and that's all they heard for years and years and years,
that's what they'll listen to.
Then that's what they're going to believe. It's very hard to fight out of that and to be a free thinker. And a lot of people, they call it red pilling right now, right? You get red pilled and they see the forest for the trees, and they pull the curtain aside and they go, you're a bad person. You're just hiding behind this facade, right? So the discovery is happening, but in general, and you know, I've said this before, Serge was very against Donald Trump in 2016, 2020. And I was like, okay, well, you know, a lot of people listen to System of a Down, and they're only getting one perspective. And it's a perspective I don't agree with. if there's a kid in school and that kid is surrounded, I remember what it was like being a kid in school. You don't want to stand out.
It's tough.
You know? You don't want to be the focal point. You just want to fit in and enjoy your life. And I remember what it felt like to stand out, because I've always been a big mouth, right? And I just imagine some kid in the school who doesn't believe what everybody else is saying and refuses to go along with it. You know, those kids commit suicide. They have difficult times in their lives. And I want them to know that somebody famous, you know, doesn't think the way everybody else famous thinks, and it's okay for them not to think the way everybody else thinks too. And if that costs me a couple of 100,000 followers, I don't give a fuck. If it costs me all my followers, I don't give a fuck. Because if one kid feels better about it, it's worth it. What the hell are those followers doing for me anyway? I don't monetize my platforms. You know? Like, it means nothing to me to have the followers. What it means something to me is help whoever I can help.
If you can save one life, you've done your job. And I think that's what everyone's getting bullied. And I'm not sure if you've heard about the 4B movement. Have you heard about
the what?
4B movement?
No.
So now there's, as of after the election, the day after, there's this movement called the 4B movement that Democrat women are now shaving their heads, not having any connections with any males. They're divorcing their husbands. They're breaking up with their boyfriends.
Oh, they're doing them a great service.
They're not having.
Who wants to be with those women? Have you seen what those women look like?
No.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen some of these people. Okay?
And they're crying hysterically.
Look, nobody's trying to fuck these girls. All right? Let's be frank. These are completely unhinged people. And if you think that those are not examples of people you'd want to be with anyway, because what kind of life are you going to have with somebody that reacts that way? I can have a totally different opinion than you, right? If we can sit down and civilly discuss that.
That's fine.
And we could still have a completely different opinion at the end of it, but at least we'll have gained some perspective. What perspective am I going to learn from them?
No, I genuinely don't understand, because I never...
By the way, they're not breeding. It's a good thing. Let them never have sex again.
That's what they say on TikTok. No, but my thing was, I didn't even vote. I'm not even an American citizen. But... Well,
in California, that doesn't make a difference. You could vote here.
Without a license.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe I'll try that next time.
But you could still do it, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll still take your vote.
He's in the White House already. No, but my thing was that I'm not a political person. In Australia, there's a few things that it's an unspoken rule that we don't talk about. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about salary. We don't talk about politics. It's just an unspoken...
I think that's also wrong.
Sure, but that's just something that... So when I came in, people started asking me salary and religion and what else. Like, oh, well, it's a culture shock. But having said that...
How much do you make?
2 billion. I can't tell anyone. But my point is that...
Charge for this, maybe.
No, but my point is that when did it become... I'm just shocked that I open my Instagram, for example, and everyone's like, Kamala, that's fine. I don't care. That I'm happy for you. But the second someone...
She's never accomplished a thing in her life. I don't get it. What Kamala? There isn't a better woman. I don't care who runs the country. I just want it run well. And I know a lot of very strong women. My wife was one of them. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee my wife would do a much better job running the country than Kamala Harris, who has succeeded at nothing in her life. She is a typical standard bureaucrat who has been pushed from one job to another that she did all of them poorly until she got to the top. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine that is in government in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And he told me, John, here's what we do. If we get an idiot or a problem, I don't think she's an idiot, but she's pretty close. The ALC is the idiot. But if we get an idiot or a problem, we give them an elevated position out of our department. We get rid of the problems. I go, so when do they get fired? They go, we can't fire anybody. I go, what? They go, yeah. This is not merit-based. You can't fire anybody unless they do something egregious. Mm. So I go, what happens to these people? They end up running the show at some point. Because the next department is like, how do I get rid of this dumb fuck? Right? And then eventually they get to the highest position and they're running the show. Or they get, retired, or they go on to another career. Mm. We're not taking our best. Because, quite frankly, What does somebody like Trump have to look forward to? The next Trump. Losing 1/3 of their net worth, being called everything in the world that's negative. You used to be loved by everybody, and now people are cursing at you when you walk down the street. Like, what do you get out of serving the people in today's society? Nothing. You lose. You can only lose. So why do it? Why would look at Elon Musk, the most beloved guy up until he supported Trump, and now he's Satan, right?
People are cutting off Tesla charges.
Oh, they're people are so stupid. Here's the bottom line. Unless we get out of the thinking that lifelong politicians are the answer, we're not asking the right questions. I believe in the United States, we have to get rid of the lobby system. The lobby system was only created to explain law to people that aren't lawyers. We don't need it anymore. They're all lawyers. We need easy to understand for the common person. In California, you have, what are they, propositions in California? I can't fucking understand them. They need to be simple. This is what we're going to do. It's one page. This is what it's going to do. Not page 760, there's a gas tax of 75 cents, by the way. And that's going to affect you because you can't afford a Tesla. The people don't have any information. And they're being asked to make choices. And if you are somebody that comes from the outside, the system is built to destroy you. They all work together to do it. Right? There's only one media. Even Fox is owned by the same media. Right? So, I think people need to either do one of two things. Either understand that you're still a serf, right? And we're still in the feudal system, but we don't know who our lords are. We think we're in charge.
We have no idea.
But we have no idea, right? Either accept that and live your life, or say, this is not a system I can live in, and we need real change, and real change only comes from revolution. You got to break everything down and start over. I don't think people want that. Because at the end of the day, a nice TV you can get for $1,000 at Costco. We have comfortable lives. We have medical if we need it. Most people are high or drunk or whatever else they're doing. And they're living a decent life. It's not 1800 when your sister's dying because you couldn't get cold medicine. Right? Because it didn't exist. Right? So, we're too comfortable. We're like the cow, the veal, more. We're the veal. We're going to keep eating the food. We're in a comfortable place. It's warm. We know we're going to get slaughtered. We can smell it. We can smell the other veal that was slaughtered yesterday. We know it's coming for us, but we're too content.
We're too comfortable.
And what's the alternative? The alternative's scarier. We know, at least death we understand is coming for us all. But the alternative is far scarier.